I'm ready. What up, G?
What up? I want to say it right back at you, but I won't because that is your saying, and I just respond as a good generator would respond. Generator in human design, if y'all are not aware of what that meant. Look into it. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
So, my friend, episode 11.
Divine timing. Here we are.
hmm We did not get to do the recording when we usually do because of festivities. But here we are, ready to do it.
It was also Father's Day.
It was also Father's Day. Yeah. Oh, do we want to get into that?
You. It's a big one for both of us.
Yeah, it is. As I cross my arms,
Uh-huh.
okay, I need to open back up. Um,
Just take a breath and just allow the conversation to flow. It's just you and me. We just happen to be
yeah,
recording.
yeah, that's all. Okay, you asked me how was it? Is that right?
Father's Day. What do you do to celebrate? How was it?
So, big thing happened. My older brother got married, and during before and during and after, I was guiding my dad because he's blind. So he put his hand on my shoulder and I walked him in various places. And he was miserable because he was in so much pain. He has chronic shoulder pain.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like he was very much like retreating internally because of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wasn't that like a really beautiful ceremony? And he was like, yeah, it was. It's just I couldn't see it. So his vision has like gone even more downhill. Like he used to be able to see shades and sort of like the shades of things and the shapes, but now he can't see that. Like he can't see anything. And like that's I can only imagine that being really tough. Like your oldest son is getting married and you can't see what's going on. And so, yeah, he was just miserable and it made me really sad. Um, I mean, it was a beautiful day. Had so much fun with everybody. It was actually a really good time with my family. Not not like other times. Sometimes it gets a bit, mixed feelings, right? There's
Yeah.
good, bad, and in between. Um, but this day was like really nice, and you know, it was a spur of the moment kind of wedding because both my brother and his wife, they have crazy busy schedules, and they've been trying to figure out a date to do it, and they found that Sunday was when they would be free. And so it was like a very intimate wedding where it's just like really close family. And me and my older brother have a bit of a complex relationship. We're not super close. But I did want to go to it. I didn't initially, honestly, initially I struggled with it. Um, Especially because it was so short notice. Like I had a week notice. And I was excited to have plans with the lovely woman that I'm seeing. And so it cut that short. So there was initial reaction of like, oh, I don't want to do this in a way. Like I want to spend time with her. To be honest, like completely honest. Um, but then I sat with it and talked to a few people about it. And I was like, this could be a really good opportunity to not only like witness my brother have this very special day, but also to let him know like I want to have connection with him in whatever way that looks. Um, and that felt really in alignment with what I value. And so there was like moments of sitting with protective parts of me that didn't really want to go in some ways. Um, and then breaking through that, honoring the feelings of those parts, but not having that dictate my decision. Because I would have been sad if I didn't go. Um,
Yeah.
and that was important. So that was a piece of what went on. And then my dad and seeing him really sad and down. An interesting thing happened after that, which was I had some bad digestive uh issues Monday, Tuesday. Uh and I sat with my gut and I asked my gut, what's going on? Like, there's something that you're needing to tell me because I'm feeling so much discomfort and I couldn't sleep very well those 2 nights. And I realized that I was taking on my dad's pain
Yeah.
and unconsciously doing that until I consciously recognize, oh, I'm trying, like, I wanted to fix it or I wanted to make it go away, or I believed that I had to take it on to feel some compassion towards him. And I just sat with it, was super tender with it, acknowledged it, cried a bit, and now like slowly my stomach and gut are feeling a lot better. So that's huge. Like we talk so much about our bodies talking to us, and that was just a really great example. Actually, I was excited to experience that in some way because I was like, oh, I got to share this on the podcast episode. Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. Um, and I know I'm not alone in that. We tend to take stuff on inside of our bodies unconsciously or semi-consciously and then
Yes. Yeah.
not ever attend to it or attend
Right.
to
It
it.
just, right. And yes, it goes back to the first episode of that conversation of like all emotional pain manifests into physical pain.
Yeah.
At the root of your physical pain is emotional pain. And if you just allow yourself to just like untangle and unravel and delayer it and go within and ask, simply just ask,
Yeah.
what is it that you need to tell me?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Right? Like just ask your body, like, okay, this area of my body since the car accident has been slightly more tender than the other side. So that I'm consistently saying to my body, like, what is it that you need?
Yeah. Hmm.
What do you need to tell me?
Yeah. That's really good. Really good. Yeah, and it's that relationship, just like a relationship with your feelings, like a relationship with your body is the same thing. Attending
Yeah,
to your needs.
absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, my Father's Day experience was good and also reinforced um, the patterns that I've been working on surrounding like taking on pe other people's stuff and how do I continue to like release that and make the distinction between like I actually don't have to take it on. I can feel compassion and not have to take on anything.
Right. And as an empathetic individual, you can say, yeah, I feel that. And I
And
don't need
yeah,
to keep it.
yes, yes. And even right now in this moment, I'm like, okay, like Liz, That's great. And it is going to be an ongoing process of unraveling that. So I recognize that and want to have compassion for myself too in that process. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so yeah, how about your Father's Day? How was that for you?
Well, I went to San Antonio to celebrate my other BFF's birthday. So
Yeah.
you are you are BFF twin, and she is BFF.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Shout out to Janine.
yes, it was her birthday on the 10th, and so um, in what February she moved to San Antonio to move in with her boyfriend, and she's expanding her real estate empire there. So
Mhm.
on Saturday we went to the botanical gardens and celebrated and stayed outside, and I my glorious Irish skin was lobster by the end of the day. I'm
That
like,
makes
okay.
sense.
Um, yeah. And then we took her boyfriend out to dinner because he's a father. And um, yeah. And then on Sunday, I drove back and um, spent some quick, quiet time with the person that I'm seeing, and then drove back home. Went to bed. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Father's Day, like Mother's Day, brings its own glorious mix of, oh, okay. I for okay, how do I say this? For me, the man who was my dad was my mom's father. So my grandfather, my papa. And he passed away in 2009.
Hmm.
And um uh my my father died in 2013. So I was young. I was 21 when my dad died, and then I was what, 26, something like that. 22 when my dad died, and then 26 when my father died. So I was young.
That is young.
Um, yeah, to suddenly not have a father figure in my life, it was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is this. There's a space here.
Hmm.
Um, and I will never forget the emptiness that I felt when my well, he's an ex for a reason. When my ex-husband sent off a Father's Day card to his stepdad and didn't ask me to sign it. So I wasn't a part of celebrating
Oh yeah. Hmm.
a Father's Day at all. I will never forget the emptiness that I felt in that moment of, what do you mean you sent off the card and you didn't ask me to sign it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Like that, like, wait, what? Like to suddenly not have, like, yes, I could have gone out and got my own card. I did. I got my own card and I sent it, but still, like that lack of thoughtfulness combined with the sudden I'm just suddenly hit with, oh, there's a big loss in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
And so I've been navigating most of my adult life without, I mean, without a father figure. It's strange. It's a strange experience. Yeah. Yeah.
That must be. It's it's really interesting because you and I have that commonality of our grandpas being like these major father figures.
Yeah.
And they sound similar too from our
Oh yeah.
descriptions, which is so interesting.
Yeah. So
Uh,
similar.
yeah. But I also, so something as you were talking, I've heard that when a loved one crosses over, um, they're with you and they actually can help you in ways that their human form didn't. So
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
curious for you, like, do you ever feel your father with you?
All, all the time.
Yeah, okay.
Here's the thing is that, and I spoke of this, what was it, the last episode, the ego death.
Yes.
When I knew that he, like when my mom called me and told me that he had left his body,
Mhm.
um, I said to his soul, okay, now the real work begins.
Mm.
We were so damaged. I was so angry with him growing up. I was furious with him.
Yeah.
He was an alcoholic. He just couldn't get it together. Um, he had checked out long before he moved out. And actually, when I was little, he was in and out of jail. It it was turbulent for my mom, and it was not a fun experience growing up in that scenario.
Yeah.
Um, and so when he left his body, I said to his soul, okay, now the real work begins. And I knew that I had to show up too. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, Linz, that also means great. Now you get to dive in and deal with all the shit that like you've never dealt with. And I did. And bro, that was not fun. That was so hard, right? Like I call it a nervous breakdown because that's what the world would call it, but I call it like the best reawakening ever because
Yeah.
I did. I took like 4 months of just purging and going within and
Mhm.
allowing myself to cry at everything that happened, cry at exactly what was,
Yeah.
what never will be,
Yeah.
right? For all the things like the fulfillment that I would never get in a father-daughter relationship, and like
Mm.
for exactly what was, what never will be, all
Yeah.
of those things, like all of those layers, I just allowed myself to feel it. And yeah, it was, yeah, but I was also questioning, like, okay, who am I as a daughter? Who am I as a wife? Who am
Yeah.
I as an individual, as a teacher, as an artist? I was asking myself all those questions all at once. And so that was the first like death of the ego that I experienced, like ego death,
Wow.
like that was, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, look at that. We just like you just brought a
Yeah.
continuation. That's beautiful. Yeah. Wow. That's powerful. And
So
yeah.
I know that I want to be a mom,
Hmm.
right? I know that. And
Yeah.
so I I am searching for a partner or ex in this dating experience that I'm in, I'm like consistently like asking questions because I'm measuring up.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you bring XYZ to the table? Can you hold space for me as a partner? Can you hold space for me as a future mother? Can you hold space for our future daughter, for our future son? Like that's how I'm navigating this life. And because it's such a big part of who I'm meant to be in this lifetime. And yeah, so this Father's Day, I did hold space for my future partner and I said, okay, this is the vibration that you need to bring, or whoever it is, step forward and let's go, because
Wow.
yeah.
That's beautiful. Hmm. I love that for you.
Hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he better fucking, like he's
Listen, I know that he's gonna get grilled by you, he's gonna get grilled by Janine. Better.
That's right. We're gonna be that committee that's like, dude, you better be
Yes.
good. You better be good to her. Yeah, for real. Um, so good. Wow. That's really cool. I was talking to my brother-in-law and Jason, and I asked him how Father's Day was for him. And he told me about how it's been such a great season for him of expansion into like all the areas that he struggles with, and then all of the ways that he wants to expand as a person, and being like so completely selfless to his kids. And he had this like joy in him as he spoke about it. And it was just so beautiful. Like it was amazing to witness. Um, so shout out to all the fathers out there for sure. Yeah. Um, okay. Anything else? Any other things that you want to check in about from this previous week?
Uh, what are the planets doing? There have been moments where I'm like, are we in Mercury retrograde? Because what the actual fuck? Like,
Dude,
what
for
happened?
real.
Okay, so I'll go in and out of like really diving deep into astrology and like what's happening so that like I'm prepared and ready to go. And then other times I'm just like, it's a free for all. I'll just experience this life. It's really okay. I have friends like you who are in it and like can like give me the update, give me the 411, give me the layman's terms, the gist of what the fuck is actually happening because shit has been batshit crazy. Like just when I think, oh no, it can't get any crazier. Like I'm like, what dimension did I land in? Because I don't understand.
Dude, I feel like astrology isn't even able to capture this fully. Uh, there's a lot of transits happening, and
Yeah,
like Jupiter just went into Cancer,
yeah.
and we're revisiting, and I'm glad that I just listened to this. We're revisiting uh 2013. In 2013, June 2013 to June 2014, something that happened. We're revisiting themes from that year.
Okay, great.
So, whatever you're feeling is probably related to that.
I mean, I just said I went through my first ego death in 2013 because my
Oh
father
shit,
like,
that was 2013?
right, that's why I'm like, oh, okay, great. Fun.
Sorry, I missed that detail. Um, yeah.
Awesome. Fuck.
So there's that.
It's great. It's so great. I love this life.
Dude, it's a wild ride. Um,
For
yeah.
if you think about it, if you just like really for real though, like if you just put it into the perspective of I'm this soul, this being of light that just happened to choose these parents and incarnate into this body. So I'm borrowing this body, this energy.
Mhm.
We're on a spinning planet that is hurling through space. That's cool, right?
Yeah, that's something, right?
Like I'm a little speck.
Yeah.
I am a little speck on a spinning planet
Yes.
hurling through. Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. It's it's a wild ride. Yeah, so, there's a lot going on in astrology. And also, I think as a collective, we're going through a lot. Like we just talked about ego deaths, and there's a lot going on politically that we don't have to get into. We can get into it though. And it feels like we are, as a collective, making this massive shift into some new era, but there's this back and forth with resistance to actually moving into it. And you can see that all over the place in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel from the collective.
It's almost like we're aware that we're in an old pattern
Hmm.
and we're fighting with ourselves of trying to stay trying to stay in the old pattern because it's familiar.
Yes.
Um, and we're afraid to take the leap.
Yeah.
We're afraid to let go.
I think that's a really good way of describing it. Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of, well, what a beautiful segue into this episode's topics.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be multiple topics. Let's just be real. Um, I am fascinated, especially since it's popped up so much in these last 2 weeks in my work. I'm fascinated about this the conditioning that we go through and how there's this like invisible space around us that tells us expectations that we should be fulfilling, and how we can go in and out of consciousness of it being present in our lives. We can be like, oh, I'm having this expectation that I should never feel pain. And that's why I'm feeling pain. And it's like the beliefs that we have about these things are actually the more painful thing than an actual experience that we're having, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you gone through something and you realize that it was actually your belief or perception that made it so much worse?
I mean, how many times?
Yeah, give me an average. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to give me an.
Yeah. Tell me
Yeah.
more. Let's dive into that a little bit more.
Okay. Um, so, you know, I have, let's see, I'm thinking, should I go personal or clinical? Let's go personal. I mean, I just said one of them. I legit had a part of me, some part of me that believed the illusion that I could avoid pain. Okay?
Ooh, yeah.
And that would and probably will still show up inside of like just things that I'm thinking in particular that are really important to me, that can have a lot of fear because it's really important to me, is it can show up in my relationships. So like, for example, if I were to hurt you, um, or if we were to have like a conflict and there was tension between us, there would be a part of me that would come in and really try to avoid any pain of any kind. Like legit, it would come in and be like, it would be whispering because it's like a little whisper. It's like, oh, you shouldn't say this because then it's going to cause pain. Or, oh, you shouldn't do this because it's going to cause pain. Or it just like hyper vigilant about either causing pain or experiencing pain. And so
Okay.
that's the part of me that holds the pain of the past and is like it's almost like this agreement that it tries to make with me, which is this was so painful. I will never experience this level of pain again. And then it tries to not experience that level of pain. But
Right.
then that creates its own suffering, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, hmm.
Mhm.
For instance, in romance, right? Like your first love is like such a deep one, and um, your heart gets broken because past tense, first love, right?
Mhm.
Um, you don't want to get hurt again.
Right.
So then you close off and not
Yes.
wanting to truly be yourself or to truly open up, or you sort of try to open up, like
Yes.
I'll do a little.
Oh no, she froze.
So apparently I froze.
She froze.
And on my end, I kept talking. I
Uh-huh.
had no idea. I had no idea.
Dude, that's so funny. Yeah, it's like she's probably talking to herself right now. That's cool. I have no idea.
That's great. That's the best. And then once the connection came back, I literally said I had no idea I was frozen. And then I had this light bulb moment of, fuck, what a metaphor for my life. Shit, I had no idea I was frozen. And here I am literally talking about like opening my heart to people in romantic relationships. And then like,
Wow.
I had no idea I was frozen. Fuck.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Right?
Okay. That dude, that's brilliant. How do you feel about that?
I feel very on display right now.
You sure are, you Leo.
I feel very on display. Yeah, yeah. It's so funny because Janine says to me all the time, she's like, you say no, no, no. Okay. And I'm like, shut up, that's not me. That's exactly who I am.
That is,
That's
yeah,
exactly what I do. I say, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not. No, no, that's not happening. Not absolutely no. And then it's like, okay, fuck.
yeah.
And then you're just like, okay, great.
All right, fine. I'll do it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
I'll do the thing. I don't want to do the thing that I didn't want to do. Here I am. I'm kicking and screaming about it, but all right, I'll do the thing.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so you were talking about like an example of like your first love that ends.
Yeah, like you take a leap and you begin to open your heart, and it's like it's really a big step for you romantically. You're allowing the closeness and the kinship of this person, and also there's physical touch involved, so there's a lot of oxytocin happening, right? Like there's
Right.
a lot of chemicals, like legitimately and figuratively, but also legitimately happening, like in this experience of your first love.
Yeah.
And if it ends, then you do this.
Yeah.
You close off,
Yeah.
and you don't want to let the person in, right? And then this sort of like the next relationship that you're in, like you sort of kind of open up, but you don't really want to, and like they might get some of you, but if it ends, then you do this again. You close up. And then if you're lucky and you meet somebody that just like blasts those doors wide open, and then you give them all of you and you open up and you're like, okay, great,
Hmm.
we're doing the thing, we're doing life together, this is fun, you're my person, I'm your person, this is great. um and then if it ends, then you're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Right? You can really begin to shift from like, case in point, I'll put myself on display. I really went from the anxious attachment style to suddenly like avoidant. Fuck off. I'm not letting you near me.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch you from a distance. I'm gonna keep an eye on you, and then like if you interest me, like I'll indicate that, and then, well,
Yeah.
no, you're back to an arm's length.
Yeah. And what did you believe about love? What did you believe about your heart? all of that? Like, what beliefs were there?
That all right, so this is great. This is interesting. So some of it is that like love hurts. That um yeah, that love hurts. That love is painful. That love is conditional. That um I'm not really worthy of being loved for who I am,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm worthy of being loved for what I do,
Yeah.
for what I do in the relationship, for what I do for you, right? I will show up and love you big. And if I do all these things for you, like I'll get your approval. So then, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause loving me for me is like scary as shit. Like that's unfamiliar territory. What is that? Um, I also used to have the belief that I only get to really dive into personal development and really personally and spiritually grow if I have a broken heart.
Oh.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's like the motivation to like push me forward of like, no, I'm healing, I'm really diving in, I'm really pushing, I'm really growing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Once I realized that, then it was like, okay, well, we need to shift this subconscious belief because that's fucked. No wonder,
That's
no wonder you're attracting these like fucked up scenarios. It's because I had this belief that if I had a broken heart, that was the only way that I would grow.
yeah. Wow. Mm. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That I'm sure that other people resonate with that, you know? I mean, I know I do in my own like in my own history. Um, yeah, it was like the there was a feeling of like almost like an addiction to sadness. Like in order to actually feel I needed to be sad. So there's a predominant experience of, oh, I need to move towards sadness because then that makes me go deeper into myself and then I'll learn more.
Mm.
So
Right.
it was similar in its own way to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet I wasn't allowing um I wasn't allowing myself to feel like angry or joy or like a range of feelings. It was more of like everything defaulted to sadness or shame because I had these other beliefs around like I can't get angry because if I'm angry, I will hurt somebody or I will destroy something. And then like joy, like if I got into joy, it was like, oh, well, this is gonna go away really fast because it never stays. So like those perceptions of my feelings limited me from actually like feeling the full range of feelings. And then sadness became this like comfort zone that it wasn't um serving me all the time, but it was comfortable because it was familiar.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for me, growing up in such a broken-hearted space, right? Like there are core memories of, taking it back to the beginning part of this conversation. There were core memories of my parents fighting.
Hmm.
Um, there were like my mom just holding in so much frustration and anger towards my father. And you could just see her holding her breath and she's just like holding it in. And then when she did express it, it would be so fucking explosive that it would be like, oh,
Yeah.
mad. Oh man, mom's really mad. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
just having those core memories of dysfunction and sadness and heartbreak. And then, like, no wonder I have had such a pattern within my adult life of really the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah.
So having that awareness, okay, great. The practical part of me is like, all right, cool. I'm aware of it. Now how do I change it?
Yeah.
Right? How do I shift it? First of all, it's remembering that I was never broken. I don't need a broken heart in order to grow. That you
Mhm.
can heal with laughter, you can heal with joy, you can heal within having fun. Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Huh? Fun.
Wait, what? Like
Uh,
people, like it's so funny. People are like think that I'm being dramatic, but I really mean this. Like
mhm.
during Thanksgiving, people were like, "What are you grateful for?" And I would stop and be like, "I'm alive.
Mhm.
I get to experience the sadness. I get to
Right.
experience the joy, the laughter, the happiness. I get to cry if I'm pissed off. I get to grit my teeth and be like, that motherfucker, right? Like, I get to
Uh-huh.
experience all of these ranges of emotions. And there's so many different facets of them.
Mhm.
Like, you can be really sexually turned on and really fucking pissed, right? That's a very interesting combination. Like, I would have been like, wait, wait, what? Wait, wait, but yes, you can, right? Right? Just
You
think
would,
about all the different
you
combinations.
would, you would fucking say that, you Leo.
Yes.
Dude, I love that so much.
Oh my God. That is a Leo thing to say. Anyway.
Completely, and it resonates with me so deeply.
But if you think about it, like emotion is not like Inside Out, like the movie. It's not just like one facet. It really is multidimensional. And then if you allow yourself to be in the ebb and flow of whatever the emotion is coming up, there's so much of that story there. And we just started with like, oh, what does my shoulder say? Right?
Right.
Maybe my shoulder's really pissed off.
Yeah.
Then if you continue poking it, oh, let's poke it. Right? Like you can get a little bit weird with it, but
Yep.
also like just to let loose and to have fun with the healing process. You don't need to be going through the dark night of the soul in order to heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be such heavy lifting. It doesn't have to be such hard work. You
That's
don't, yeah.
that's a really good point because we talk a lot about the heaviness. And so it's good to bring in the levity of like being super goofy and just have
Yes.
like just like a completely big release with laughter.
I mean, how many times have you seen me facilitate now?
Many times.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
am the biggest goofball.
you are.
I think that God made me the biggest goofball to make people laugh, to shake them up, to take their guard down because then I get into it of, all right, now we're gonna poke the shit out of you.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Great. Okay, now we're gonna dive deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you as a facilitator, I feel that in order for me to facilitate at my highest capacity, I need that dynamic approach to show the client that like I can handle the range of emotions that they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah. 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 That's huge.
So for you as
Yeah.
a facilitator,
Hmm.
how what resonates with you with all that I just monologued said?
Um, yeah, it's been a fun like a fun time witnessing myself as a facilitator because there's moments where I look back and I'm like, oh wow, I was like really serious. Which was needed in the moment,
Right,
and
right.
that's great. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
like I've actually thought about this more recently, which is cool. But like bringing in more playfulness into my life,
yeah,
and um, I was such a goofy kid. Like had the weirdest sayings, moved in the funniest ways, and uh I want to continue to like hone in on that and bring that into the work that I do because there's a part of me that comes in that's very intellectual and like can be really serious and it doesn't help that in my what is it my fifth house it has Capricorn in it. That's Leo's house, okay? That's supposed to be the playful fun house. And guess what? It has Capricorn, the fucking nurturer of work slash super serious sign. Thank you. Um, and so it's
good
this,
quality.
yeah, the MacGyver of the Zodiacs. Like they're beautiful people, but to have it in the fifth house, come
Oh,
on,
well,
like no, no. So
give me
what
a tantrum. Here we go.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I see that in me of this like this serious person. Uh, but I'm such a goofy person. Like you know this. I'm so goofy. Um, but as a facilitator, it's like I do really enjoy taking on the like the safety, the calm, the like easing into things. The I provoke too, but it's obviously in a different way than you provoke.
Yes, yeah,
And yeah, I really do love how I work. I really do. It's
yeah.
beautiful, you know?
We really balance each other out.
You do.
I'm like, how do I, how do I describe this? I'm like fast and furious.
You're a fucking fireball at times.
Yes, fast and furious. I dive right in.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't hold back. I like
Okay.
lock, I like lock in, and
You
I'm
do
like,
lock
you.
it. Yes. Yes.
Like this
Yeah.
whole different side of me comes out. Like
Oh yeah.
you were
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Yeah,
Yeah.
it,
Oh my gosh. The first groups that we did, I was like, because I had only seen you, like, I saw you maybe like a little bit of Goofy at that point that I saw.
mhm.
But for the most part, you're pretty like serious.
I know.
And then I see you bust in and you're like float, like, talk about divine feminine, like
Yeah.
flowing in the room and just like this charismatic, lively, like bold and shining. Uh, oh no, she froze again. Okay,
Okay, so
as I was
yeah,
saying,
I heard charismatic, bold, and
and
I and then
it,
and then
and then it
froze.
like froze. Uh, shining like light in the room, and you were just
Oh,
like, mo like the movement was beautiful that you're making, and then the the energy that you brought with what you said and how you said it. Like it was really like I was in awe of watching it. I was like, holy shit.
yeah,
She
it's like bold. It's yeah, go ahead.
Like this is what she's meant to do. Like you can
Yeah,
see it, you embody it.
yeah.
And it really like it was I was in awe of like the beauty of you stepping into your like power. I hope that everybody can experience that because it's such a gift to experience personally, like you doing that for yourself, but also to witness it is like it's magical and it enhanced my experience too as a facilitator. So like energetically, we're building that with each other as we step into our own power.
Right. Well, thank you for all that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was unexpected for you to go.
Yeah, it happened organic. It went
It's just
there.
yeah, so I started saying like I'm this big ball of fire and I really provoke people because I do. Like
Yeah,
I mean, eye contact alone has been the thing that most people have been terrified of throughout all of our exercises.
it's
And
true.
then add in movement and add in voice and add in, tonal fluctuation and range. And I'm over here going, I see you. To poke at you because I see that you're holding your breath. By the way, I can see that you're holding, you don't want to talk, but I'm going to make you,
Yep.
right? Like, yeah. And so I come in and I'm shaking it up
Yes. Yes.
hardcore,
Yeah.
right? And then you are not only participating, but you're also watching and observing. So you in your grounded energy, right? Like you're figuring out a way of like, okay, Lindsay ruffled the sheets. How can I then
Yes.
help everybody straighten the sheets out, right? And you come in with such a level of detail and you're asking very specific questions with very specific reasons along the way, along the whole 3 hour session to bring it back in of, oh yeah, you're connecting the dots from the storytelling before.
Yeah. 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 Thanks for that. Yeah, it's really cool. I think that's why it's such a beautiful thing is because like we have this solid foundation as friends and then we get to see like witness each other in our purpose and our power and we
Yeah.
get to share that with each other. Like what
Yeah.
what is more fulfilling than that, you know? Um so yeah, where did we go with this?
Where do we go with this is that we have a really big event happening this weekend.
That's true, we do.
We have a really big uh, um, an honor. I'm
Yeah.
very honored that we were asked to do this. I'm very grateful that we have this opportunity to do this. And yeah, what's happening this weekend?
Yeah, so Heart Space Collective is the nonprofit that invited us to go to do two groups at the retreat for women veterans. And you're right, like it's such an honor to get to facilitate with women veterans and serve them in that way. And so yeah, we're doing a morning group and then an afternoon group. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get to meet new people and connect deeply with this really beautiful nonprofit. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
I'm excited.
You too. Yeah. Well, should we close this out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that went by so fast.
I know. It usually does.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was fun. We can continue this conversation about expectations and conditioning. I feel like it's those themes are like embedded in pretty much every episode that we talk about, which
Yeah,
speaks,
there's a running theme.
yeah, yeah, which speaks so much to like it's a human experience and we are reflecting that human experience.
Yeah, and Janine said she's like, if you're nervous to try North Node, if you're nervous to go into it yourself, like Lindsay and Liz put themselves on the hot seat in this podcast. And yeah, just listen to them. And if it feels like you want to dive in and what did she say? Play around.
Yeah,
Therapeutic theater. Then yeah, come to one of our workshops. So we get to expand and plan more.
yeah. I think that's spot on. Like we have been very transparent and vulnerable and willing to share ourselves in this because that's the best kind of modeling. And also, like, we want people to know us
Yeah,
as people. Because if you want to work with us, like, you want to be able to see the humanity inside of us.
yeah.
So, yeah, feel free to reach out, DM us. There will be upcoming workshops and series in the near future. So, get ready for that. All right, we are out.
Bye.
Bye.